Hey everyone, Reign of Dragoon here to talk about a very special game, one I've actually been playing since I was a child. Devil May Cry follows the story of Dante, who we will see go to Male Island to stop a demon known as Mundus from escaping into the human world. So first off, I'd like to go over the environment of this world. I seriously cannot get enough of it. You'll mainly be traversing through a gigantic Gothic themed castle that has some great parts. One of my favorite parts in the game is when you're going through a ghost ship. It's some pretty cool stuff. Towards the end of the game, your surroundings get pretty wild too, so you'll progress through some pretty grotesque looking areas. There is plenty of enemy variety here, which is pretty neat. You'll never be fighting the same thing constantly, which really ups the stakes depending on the situation you're in. So the same thing pretty much goes for boss fights too. You'll be running into things like giant spiders, dark knights, literal floating skulls. It's all here to rip Dante a new one. I don't really want to dive too much into spoilers, seeing as I do think the game has aged pretty well over the years. Dante is a quip-filled, action-packed badass who doesn't play nice with demons. When you start to see his more vulnerable and human side later in the game, you actually see for what he is under that badass exterior, someone just like us.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
The combat will see you launching enemies in the air, doing flashy combos, and stabbing them a million times with your sword. It may not be as innovative as what you might see in its later titles, but believe it or not, this game paved the way for what a lot of hack and slashes are today. I mean, there's so many different clones of this beast. This game did come out on August 23rd of 2001, so you'll find plenty of things that are pretty cheesy, voice acting included, but honestly, I love it.
Whoa, slow down, babe.
Hideki Kamiya, known for being a planner on the original Resident Evil title and the director of Resident Evil 2, would be a part of the building blocks for Resident Evil 4. Some of the concepts were apparently so wacky and left field for a Resident Evil game that they actually decided to move the project to its own identity altogether. Thus, Dante's days of being Tony Redgrave were over. Well, kind of.
Any idea what you're planning to do?
This has nothing to do with her. You have to understand, Tony.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Devil May Cry's story is honestly pretty neat, and though cheesy at times, it's full of moments that pull you into Dante's past and his ambitions now. Trish has a supporting role in this game, and she's pretty cool. She's actually essential to the game's plot and Dante's growth as a character. If you ever want to get around to playing the series, I highly recommend this game. It's not perfect, and the only thing I can really even complain about is the camera angles, but for me, that was never an issue. I grew up on Resident Evil tank controls anyway, so I can't complain. I will say though, there is a pretty lame swimming mechanic later in the game, but it's definitely not a deal breaker by any means. If I'd have to rate this game on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 9, but that's looking through a 2001 scope. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye everyone.